Hey everyone, Liam from Solitude here, and in this video I'm going to be taking you through the top 20 WA artists from the past decade, the 2010s. This list is what I believe to be a common consensus, and is kind of based on my opinion too, but it counts down number 20 to 1 in order of the most popular and most successful artists from this great state of Western Australia. Number 20, Make Them Suffer. Arguably Perth's most successful metal export now, Make Them Suffer had a great decade, signing to strong labels, touring with big bands in the metal scene, and releasing 3 albums in the 10-year period. Interestingly, their band member Booker is appearing in the 8th season of the TV show Married at First Sight, which could see them get an even wider audience. Number 19, Coy Child. This hip-hop group shot onto the scene when their debut album was recorded, mixed and produced by Tame Impala's Kevin Parker. They also played live shows with Tame, but have since disbanded. Their success may have been a flash in the pan, but it was definitely a big flame, and that's for sure. Number 18, Tired Lion. After winning the Best Unearthed Artist on Triple J, Tired Lion cemented themselves strongly in the alternative rock scene in Australia. With the success of their debut album, lead singer Sophie moved to Brisbane to pursue a relationship with Violent Soho's Luke Boredom, and she made Tired Lion more of a solo project. Number 17, Abby May. May has been a strong contributor in the Perth music scene for many years, being part of many local bands. In the 2010s, she pursued a solo career and released 3 albums in that period. In 2013, she was nominated for an ARIA in the category of Best Female Artist. Number 16, Pond. This psych rock band, made up of some of the current and former members of Tame Impala, had a very busy decade shadowing Tame's rise to stardom. Kevin Parker himself was part of this band as a drummer at one point, and he also helped produce some of their albums. They have released 6 albums in the decade, and toured heavily across the globe. Number 15, Shockone. Originally from Esperance, producer Carl Thomas, better known as his stage name Shockone, had a very busy decade, releasing 2 LPs and a plethora of singles which had great streaming success. Shockone dabbled in a variety of genres, including drum and bass, dubstep, and electro house. He was apparently a drummer in a metal band with the guys from Pendulum in high school too. Now that's an interesting fact. Number 14, Elk Road. One of Perth's biggest beneficiaries of SoundCloud through the decade, Rory Garton-Smith, better known as Elk Road, boomed with his popular remixes. He released a debut single in 2015, and in 2016 his single Hanging by a Thread reached number 96 in the year's Hottest 100. Number 13, Kuchka. After moving to Perth as a teenager from the UK, Kuchka became one of the biggest go-to feature singers in the country. She has collaborated many times with Australian heavyweight Flume, as well as international stars Vince Staples and A$AP Rocky. She has also released 2 EPs and is about to release a debut LP too. Number 12, Taku. Reagan Matthews, or Taku, as he is known by his stage name, had a very busy decade as a Perth-based producer. He released 5 albums and 7 EPs. His 2013 album Songs to Break Up To was his most successful, reaching 18 on the ARIA charts. His single Love Somebody with Afia reached number 74 on the charts also. Number 11, Slumber Jack. This electronic music duo cemented themselves safely in the Australian music scene with their festival-friendly bangers and consistent, solid releases. They released 3 EPs in the decade with a plethora of singles. Fracture, featuring Vera Blue, was their most successful, reaching 89 on the ARIA charts in 2017. Number 10, Stella Donnelly. After many years as a young musician in the local Perth music scene, Stella Donnelly broke through with her debut EP, Thrush Metal. Her song Boys Will Be Boys was an anthem for the Me Too movement, shedding light on issues with sexual harassment in society. Stella's star has continued to rise with her debut album, giving her an ARIA nomination and a review on YouTube channel The Needle Drop. Number 9, Crooked Colours. From house DJs to the festival circuit, Crooked Colours cemented themselves as a dance music powerhouse in Australia. They released 2 LPs and 2 EPs during the decade. Their streaming game reached great heights in the 2010s also, with many of their tracks reaching multi-million hits. Number 8, Knife Party. Comprised of Rob Swire and Gareth McGrillen from Pendulum, this side project took precedence for the WA electronic music legends in the 2010s. They released an LP and 5 EPs in the decade. The most notable singles came in 2011 with Internet Friends and their collaboration with Swedish House Mafia Antidote. Number 7, Methyl Ether. This art rock band broke through steadily throughout the decade with 3 LPs and 2 EPs. They had a strong following on Triple J, charting 3 of their songs in the Hottest 100, with Twilight Driving coming at 97, Screamhole 65, and Ubu reaching number 4 in their respective years. Ubu was also certified platinum on the ARIA charts. Number 6, John Butler Trio. WA folk rock legends stayed strong after an extremely strong decade in the noughties. They released 3 more studio albums and 2 live albums in this decade that were received very positively by fans. The trio backed it up with a 6th ARIA award in 2014 for Best Blues and Roots Album. Number 5, Draft. Another artist with 2 big decades in the 21st century, Draft became arguably WA's most successful hip-hop export. His 4th studio album, Life of Riley, which was released in 2011, hit number 1 on the ARIA charts and also reached platinum status. He released 2 more albums in the 2010s and made 3 appearances in Triple J Hottest 100s throughout the decade. Number 4, San Cisco. Life was filled with storm and sunscreen and nothing was ever that hard. Now one of Australia's biggest indie pop exports of all time, San Cisco spent the entire decade releasing successful music. It started in 2010 with their debut single Golden Revolver, then Awkward, which was a worldwide hit, and continued from there. They released 4 albums in the 2010s, which all charted in the top 20 on the ARIA charts and made many Hottest 100 appearances. Number 3, Birds of Tokyo. I never thought that you might need an anchor. After finishing off the decade with their first 2 albums, Birds of Tokyo struck gold when they released their 3rd album in 2010. The lead single, Plans, had commercial success and the album landed them an ARIA award for Best Rock Album. They continued strongly throughout the 2010s with 2 more successful albums and made radio hits with Lanterns and Good Lord. Number 2, Troye Sivan. Born in South Africa and immigrated to Perth with his family, Troye Sivan made splashes in local talent competitions and on the internet. His success on YouTube led him to a record deal which gave him 2 LPs and 3 EPs in the decade. His debut album, Blue Neighborhood, propelled him to pop stardom after the record's singles Wild and Youth hit charts in multiple countries around the world. Number 1, Tame Impala. Of course they would be number 1. 3 massive studio albums adored by the alternative music scene all around the world, Tame may now be considered WA's greatest exports. They have topped many of my lists already, and it should come as no surprise. No further explanation. Thanks for checking out my video, everyone. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe and check out some of my other videos about WA and Australian music as well. There is a link in the description to a Spotify playlist with some of the songs of these bands, so check that out too if you've got the time. Let me know if you reckon there should have been some other WA bands on this list that I missed in the comments, and I'll be happy to comment back and get the discussion about WA music going.